Hey Browns fans, Nathan Zagura here with another position review edition of the 2-Minute Drill brought to you by University Hospitals. And today we're going to look at the wide receivers. And this is a room where everybody's under contract, everybody has an opportunity to be back, but they're going to have to compete for those spots. But let's start at the top. Amari Cooper, bravo to you, Andrew Berry, on acquiring Cooper from the Dallas Cowboys. He was simply sensational for the Browns. You wanted a true number one receiver, you got a true number one receiver. 78 catches for 1,160 yards, just 29 shy of his career high, and a career high 9 touchdowns, which were tied for 6th most in the NFL. And then next to Amari Cooper, Donovan Peoples-Jones. He had a career year as well. The former 6th-round pick really blossoming in his first year as a full-time starter, and you love to see that kind of performance. 61 catches, career high. 839 yards, career high. 3 touchdowns, that tied his career high. And I think DPJ has a chance to be a 1,000-yard receiver going forward. So your top 2 are back. Then behind that, you've got David Bell, whom you drafted in the 3rd round last year. And as a rookie, he had 24 catches for 214 yards, did not get into the end zone. The Browns are going to need to see more from him, more development, more progress. Same can be said for Anthony Schwartz. Now, Schwartz was the 3rd-round pick back in 2021. Showed some flashes early in his rookie career. Showed some flashes even last year. Had that nice touchdown, but unfortunately just 4 catches for 51 yards on the year. He struggled catching the football all season and actually became more of a special teams guy. So you've got your top 2, and then, as I said, some question marks. Young guys that you drafted in Bell and Schwartz. You've got Michael Woods, whom you drafted last year in the 6th round. He had 5 catches for 45 yards in 10 games. Jalen Darden, a former 4th-round pick of the Bucs, was added late in the season. Had primarily been a return guy in the league, but you saw the way that his speed could open things up against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Then there's Jakeem Grant in the receiver room, was brought here to be a returner where he was an All-Pro and a Pro Bowler in Miami, Chicago before that. But he was injured, missed the entire season. We'll see what he's got coming off that ACL. Also a guy that you can get into that pass game and certainly on some of those jet sweeps and some creative ways to use him and his speed and his shiftiness. And there also is Isaiah Weston, an undrafted free agent who was with the Browns last year but got hurt early, missed the entire season. Tall, long, vertical speed, but very, very raw, more of a project. Also on the reserve future list, you got Dalen Baldwin, who had 2 catches for 25 yards this year. Mike Harley Jr., who was on the practice squad all year and I know is a favorite of the coaching staff, and Marquez Stevenson. But when we look at this room, here's what we know. Amari Cooper, Donovan Peoples-Jones. Yes, there will be a role for David Bell. The Browns still very much like him and hope that he can adjust to the speed of the game this year. But there is an opening for a speed receiver, and I would argue that that is the biggest need the Browns have on the offensive side of the football. Somebody who can really take the top off of a defense, open things up for the great route runner Amari Cooper, open things up for Donovan Peoples-Jones, open things up in the middle of the field for David Njoku and for that ground game. Give Deshaun Watson what he had in Houston, a vertical threat who creates space and scares defenses. So this room, we have a lot of guys. There are only so many spots. They're all going to be back. It's going to be an intense competition, but there will be an addition, whether it's in the draft, free agency, or both. The Browns need a speed receiver. Anthony Schwartz has had that opportunity through 2 years. You certainly can't go into the season counting on him, and that's why the Browns are going to have to make that move. So keep an eye there, certainly at that spot, a speed vertical receiver to open things up. I think that's the key to unlocking this offense. That's a look at the Browns receivers. You feel good about this room. Going to be a lot of continuity there, but I think that injection of speed is really going to change things. And that'll do it for the wide receiver position review edition of the 2-Minute Drill brought to you by University Hospitals.